What's up, Falcon fans and non-Falcon fans? On today's episode on how should the Atlanta Falcons spend their $56 million cap space in the free agency market this year. If you guys like this type of content, hit that like button. If you guys dislike this type of content, hit that dislike button. Please share this with your friends, your family, and your foes. It helps out a lot with this Falcons YouTube channel to grow this empire so much. So let's get started. As it stands right now, these are the 20 players on offense are still under contract with us. I am not including the reserve list because those are future contracts and I don't know how the Atlanta Falcons is going to handle that. So for right now, we're going to talk about who's definitely going to be the starters for this upcoming season and who might become starters. For right now, let's just talk about the basics, right? I made this diagram for you guys to understand what do we need to fill the most important. Left guard, right tackle, slot receiver, wide receiver 2, and fullback. I know a lot of people will probably say, what about the quarterback position? Well, I think Desmond Ridder did his thing, even though it was 4 games straight, and I thought he handled himself pretty well with adversity, so I'm keeping him as my number 1 wide receiver. Marcus Mariota will probably stay, or he probably get cut to save us $12 million in cap space, but for right now, as I'm making this video, he's still on the squad. Okay, so on that note, left guard is a huge important battle. We did sign a left guard last year, but he got injured, so now he hit the free agency market. So for the backup is Matt Hennessy and Jalen Mayfield. I know a lot of people don't like that boy, but so you know the Falcons are going to pursue a free agency in that department. Right tackle, we don't know what's going to happen. I actually got a theory on that in a couple slides later, so we'll go on to slot receiver. Slot receiver is a very bit important for us, and I do think we're going to sign someone back, but who could it be? A mystery. Oh no, you got to wait until find out. And wide receiver number 2, this has been a big blunderbuss for us, because you know we got last year from the Raiders, Edwards. He did not pan out like we thought he would, and so that was a huge mistake for us. Fullback, I do believe we should keep one fullback we already have in our arsenal, but we'll just see and find out if I keep him or not. And for the tight end position, we're completely full. And running backs as well. So let's carry on to the defense. So on defense, I think a lot of Falcon fans will probably disagree with me on this one, and that's totally fine. I get it. If you guys think I'm wrong, let me know in the comment section below so we could debate about this. But I do love AJ Terrell. He's definitely a stud. He's going to be our number 1 starter no matter how long that will be until we sign his ass. Casey Hayward is a little different story. He did get injured around week 5 or 6, around that, with a shoulder injury, but he held his own before that. So I think the Falcons should keep him. If not, maybe reduce his contract a little bit to help us out and so he can start for us. But I don't think he was that bad at all. So I think he's going to be a starting for us. And then, the 2 safeties, absolutely love Richie Grant and Jalen Hawkins. They did their thing. Were they excellent? No. Were they trash? No. They did their stuff when they had to do. Some plays just happened, but that's happened in all, aspects of life, right? Okay, so on that note, I do think that Arnold Ebiketie will be starting for us this year, and also will be starting for us is Troy Anderson. I think he also will start for us. Walker will be a bench guy. Okundeji, my bad, will probably be a bench guy. And what I mean by bench guy, I mean like second string guy. So like, calm down. Tyshawn Graham, I don't think he's going to be starting for us. I think he's going to be a good backup for us. Timmy Horn, definitely a good backup for us. And I will give him props because for undrafted free agency starting for us for the nose tackle position, that's pretty incredible. So I can't hate him on that. And then, of course, Grady Jarrett, he can play nose tackle and right defensive end. So on that note, we need a middle linebacker. We need a right side outside linebacker. We need a left defensive end. And those who the cats we got to get in free agency or in the draft. And forgot Malone did his thing for limited snaps. So I think he's going to be a second string guy. Quickly forgot to mention D. Alford, Darren Hall, Jalen Dalton did a pretty good job as backups as well. So now let's talk about who should the Atlanta Falcons bring back on the offensive side, yes or no? And I think the Falcons are going to bring back 1 wide receiver, and if they do, I hope it's Olamide Zaccheaus, because coming from Virginia back in 2019, undrafted, he's been proving himself every year he's capable and should come back for us. From starting slot receiver and then have to step up as the number 2 wide receiver, he held his own and he proved his worth around here, so absolutely sign him back. Keith Smith, absolutely a dog in the fight. You know, he can pass block, he can run block. I mean, he could do it all. So he is a monster in the trenches. We must sign him back. Michael Pruitt, absolutely a trust in Desmond Ridder. We have seen that, you know, and I love that about tight ends and quarterbacks. They are the best duos when it comes to the middle down the field. And he has some speed. I love that. Caleb McGarry, absolutely. You know, the run game for him was outstanding. The passing game, not so much, but he wasn't that bad. We'll dive into more a little bit later. And then you got, I think, Elijah Wilkinson. Absolutely. He should come back for us. I thought he did a pretty good job before he got banged up as the guard. But will he beat the starting? I don't know. We'll find out in the next slide or a couple of two, but I think you should definitely bring him back. So this might be a little bit controversial for some Falcon fans, and I get that. Who do I do not want to sign back? Damiris Byrd will have to go, not because I don't think he's talented or not, but he's hitting that age 30. He's played with the Panthers, the Cardinals, the Patriots, and the Bears, and now with us. And so you can kind of tell that he's going to go to one team every per year, and I like to have a consistency in my wide receiver depth core. He does have speed, but a lot of free agency wide receivers coming up have speed, so we can replace him easily. Kadarius Hodge, it's the same thing. He's been over a lot of different NFL teams, so no thank you. Anthony Fursker, I like him a lot. I thought he was going to do a lot more with us, but he hasn't panned out like I was hoping for, and you can always replace him, so sorry, but good luck to him. And then the other three offensive line bodies, they're just there for reserved or backups or injured whenever our start happens, so they're just a plug-in type of characters, and you can find those anywhere in the free agency market, so we can quickly cut them out. Okay, on to the defense. For the defensive side of the ball, who should we keep and who should let go? Cornell Armstrong and Abdullah Anderson both played their part very well, especially Armstrong when he came in, you know, being a fourth to a fifth string corner coming through a second string start. I thought he held himself well. Anderson absolutely just did some incredible stuff against the run game, so keep him back. Isaiah Oliver, absolutely, we must sign him back. Coming from an injury from last year and a little bit of this year as well, he stood the test of times this year and absolutely proved his worth, so we got to sign him back. Alonzo Carter, I thought he would have been a little bit more better for us, but I can understand how to learn a new defensive system, trying to get a flow with the program, trying to come. He probably got a little scared, and that's fine. It happens to the best of us. So I'm hoping we can resign him back and he'll become even better for the next futures. And for our final guy we must sign back is Rashaan Evans. He was the general last year for us on the field. He absolutely improved in his coverage skills and his tackling skills, and he's going to get even better with us now. So he must sign back for us, and he already knows most of the system on defense. So now let's talk about who should go. I like Vincent Taylor a lot, but unfortunately for him, he got hurt before he ever got down with a Falcons uniform, and he's hitting that age 30-ish, so we can easily replace him with a younger depth piece, so he got to go. With Shade Fulton, I don't know why we traded for him. He was kind of useless for us. He got burned every time he was on the field, so nope, thank you. Matt Dickerson and Jalen Johnson, they're just depth pieces at this point, and we can always replace them with younger guys as well. They didn't really contribute at all, even when they're on the field. Eric Harrison was average, below average from last year, but he didn't do anything this year, so I don't know why we kept him. Maybe just for health concerns or for depth pieces. I don't know, but he's going to go. He got to go. Mike Ford. I like Mike Ford a lot. I think we're probably going to resign him back only because of special teams, but I want him to do more than just special teams next time if we do get him back. But for right now, for me personally, he got to go. And then Nick, I'm not going to say your name because I don't want to butcher your beautiful name, by the way. I like you a lot, but I could tell and I knew you weren't going to contribute a lot for us, and you were just there to fill up a roster spot, and I disagree on doing that. So on that point, let's talk about who we're going to get in free agency. Re-sign players means yellow and free agency sign means green. So for the yellow, I signed back Elijah Wilkinson on a $1 million contract. I thought that's how much he was worth because he signed a 1-year contract last year. And for Caleb McGarry, I signed him to a 4-year contract worth $45 million. That makes him the 7th highest right tackle player so far in this synopsis. The only reason why I didn't give him over 50 million to 60 million to 70 million because last year he gave up 9 sacks. So this year he only gave up 6 sacks, but he got called 5 times in penalties. So that's why I'm going to reduce his contract just a little bit. But he was one of the top tier right tackles when it comes to the run game. So that's why he's getting that nice paycheck. For our starting slot receiver, Olamide Zaccheaus will get a 2-year contract worth $4 million. So that's pretty good, I think. And so for Michael Pruitt, I signed him a 2-year contract worth $2 million. So that's also a pretty good contract, I think I gave him. And then for Smith, our boy and legend, I gave him a 3-year contract worth $4 million. So hopefully he likes that as well. For my first big splash when it comes to the offensive side of the ball, I would love to grab left guard Dalton Reisner, a 4-year contract worth $30 million. He is currently with the Broncos. He was drafted in 2019, second round, pick 41st. He played in college at Kansas State 2014 through 2018. He has started 62 games. He has played 62 games. He got a little banged up this year, but he's excellent in the run game. He's excellent in the pass game. So absolutely, we must grab him as soon as possible because he will be a huge steal for us. So now let's talk about Keenan Allen and how he can help this organization. But before we do all that, let's talk about negotiations. So back in 2020, he signed a 4-year contract worth $80 million, right? So now, since the Chargers are in cap hell, they're going to find a way to try to cut him to save up some cap space. So on that note, since this is 2023 after all, we can renegotiate that. So we can sign him to a 3-year extension worth $55 million, right? Only reason why we're not going to sign him a lot more because he has been injury prone for a couple of years. Now, he had 2 ACL tears back to back, like back in 2015 and 2016, but he got nicked up in 2020 and also in 2022. So it's not really too much concern about that, but it is there. So that's why he gets that reduced contract, but he can definitely teach Frank Darby, Drake London, Desmond Ridder, Michael Pruitt, Kyle Pitts, and everybody else, how to read the defense, what to do, what not to do, when to use your route run, when to turn, footwork, because he's been there, he's done that, and he's been an all-pro of that. He's been into Pro Bowls, and he understands what it needs to win games. So, and also, I'd like to get Jamison Crowder, like I stated before in my previous video. I think he's a very underrated wide receiver. He got nicked up last year. But on that note, I think we should sign him to a 2-year contract worth $3 million. And on that note, I did not sign any running backs because we got to spend money somewhere else. I think is way more important. And a lot of depth pieces you see empty because those are going to be bodies. So they're not going to be worth that much of a star powerful name. So let's continue to the next slide. So we can clearly see we're going to be focusing on defense a lot when it comes to the free agency market. And I think that will definitely help us get to the next tier when it comes to the playoffs and hopefully Super Bowl in the next couple of years. But we got to do it the right way, right? So on that note, you guys can clearly see we re-signed the players we want, but only one of them is going to be starting for us. And that's because Rashaan Evans proven to us that he can be a leader. So since Dean Pease is gone and the new defensive coordinator is here, I was going to say a 5-year deal worth over $35 to $50 million. But since we got the new defensive coordinator, I decided to give him a 3-year contract worth $25 million. And hopefully that will be enough because I really don't know how the new defensive coordinator going to use him like Dean Pease would. But on that night, he's still going to be a starter. So when it comes to the free agency we claimed, that's probably a little tricky. I know some people might disagree with me and say we're not going to get couple of these guys, but I think the reason why I chose some of them because of the variety or the versatility they can produce and how they attack the opposite side of the ball. So let's get started when it comes to Alex Alonso. Previously, we will sign him to a 1-year contract worth $2 million. He played for the Lions this year or last year, but he was signed by the Saints, and so I figured that variety will make sense because he wants to bring his boys back that he knows really well, and he will be the WLB, third backup or whatever you want to place him. He's not the middle linebacker, but he is the other linebacker position. And so then, you got Zach Allen, who, I remember back then when he was drafted or coming from the draft, a lot of Falcon fans wanted him, or a lot of people thought that we were going to draft him in the first or second round, but now he was drafted by the Cardinals. And he did a pretty good solid, years for them. So I decided to give him a 3-year contract worth $20 million. Hopefully that will, be enough for him to be a good backup role just in case if someone gets injured or not. But he's a plug-in type of dude, and you always need depth pieces. You always need more in the trenches. So that's what I went for. And then, for starter, and I still want to get him, and we never get him every time he hit the free agency market, but Youngway, Ngakwe, I want him so bad. I want to sign him to a 3-year/4-year worth $30 million contract because he is worth every penny. He gets after the quarterback consistently no matter which team he is on, and we need a young, or he's going to be 27 or 28 at this point, but he's still efficient enough where he can set the edge, and we need a guy like that. And then of course I'm not really sure I want him, but I figured because of new defensive coordinator status, we're gonna get Marcus Davenport. I'll give him a 1-year $12 million contract because he needs to earn it. Now, he didn't do so hot this year, or last year I guess you could say, but the previous years he did all right. I think he's just average. But you know what? He might need a new role, a new team, a new city, a new identity for him to break out. And sometimes, hey, it can happen. You just be in the same position, for 4 years, and you just need something. You need some change up. So our biggest free agency snap, that I think a lot of Falcon fans would definitely would love to have him, and we can all agree this is a number one top tier priority for us, is to sign Daron Payne. I give him a 5-year contract worth $85 million. We must sign this guru. We have to sign him. I don't care you put him on the edge or the interior. I don't care you put him in linebacking, safeties, corners. I don't care where you put him. He is a monster wherever you put him in, and we must sign him. This is the only player where I do think that the Redskins will break the bank for him. So, but hopefully, if someone's gonna break the bank for him, we're gonna break the bank for him because we need this guy. I wanted him when he came out of college so badly, and I was kind of annoyed that we didn't get him. But you know what? I kind of feel, I had a feeling he was gonna be this great, but he is fantastic. So I left, and also before, I know people are probably gonna get mad. How come we didn't sign any corners in free agency? Well, because we already have 6, corners already. So I will say we probably might sign one, in the NFL draft. So don't worry about that. The free safety and the strong safety position, I checked. And I know a lot of people want Bates and Pryor and some other young Thundercat safeties, but to me, the safeties are not a major priority for us right now. Now, we'll probably draft some, in the NFL draft, but for right now, I just don't see the Falcons going out their way to sign any safeties. Not maybe like very low tier, like 3rd or 4th string guys. But do we really want Bell from the Saints to mess that tackle for the Vikings that gave the Vikings, to that miracle playoff or the Viking miracle thing? No, we don't want Bell. He's from the Aints. And I'm trying to be realistic, you guys, about who should we get and how much wisely we should spend on this cap salary. Because remember, we have to sign a couple players next year. So we don't want to spend all of our fruit baskets all at once and have rotten apples at the end of the season, right? So we got to spend our money wisely, okay? In conclusion, do I know what the hell I'm talking about? Absolutely not. Am I correct? Absolutely not. Am I wrong? Absolutely not. It just depends on what the Falcons are trying to go for. Because at the end of the day, we are not them. We don't know what's in play. We don't know what they're thinking of. As Falcon fans, we should just hope for the best that these players want to play for this great city of ours. That's another thing we have to contribute. And I think a lot of us kind of forget that they don't have to come here. Regardless of the money, if they really love the product that we're selling them, they want to come and help us win a Super Bowl. And hopefully that is the case. For whoever wants to show up in this free agency market, thank you so much. And it would be an honor for you to wear this Falcons gear. And hopefully I can make videos for you guys when you guys come in. And I want to know, for Falcon fans, do you like this type of content? Do you like this type of work I am putting out? Do you want to do this again? This is basically like homework for me, because this is something very new I had to do on my own to try to discover, trying to figure out with money. And I'm terrible with money. I failed math at adolescence like my boy Rick Ross. I'm sorry, I had to just put you out, my boy. I mean, but he's still the king of Mr. 305, you know what I'm saying? But on that note, this is just a silly, stupid outro for you guys, so you guys don't get too bored with me. But thank you guys for watching this so much. I really do appreciate all the love and the support you guys be giving me, and thank you for all the new subscribers. I want to hit that 2 million mark. Let's try to reach that in a couple of years. 2 million. I'll be the first Falcon YouTuber to ever reach 2 million. That is the goal of my life. So please help me reach this goal. On that note, what do Falcons do? Rise up. Until the next episode, show love and peace to the world, and peace.